Welcome back to Better Pet Parents. Thanks everybody for being here. Today I'm going to share another one of my tips, and today's tip is wipe your pet's face. This is a very, very important piece of information to our pets' well-being, to their comfort, and I want you all to just think for a second about the fact that our pets cannot wipe their own faces. Seeing a lot of eye discharge on animals is such a common thing that I see all the time as a professional groomer. This is a huge pet peeve for me, and I want to spread some positivity on this message by bringing up this subject today and telling everybody out there to think about this. If you have an animal that has a problem with eye discharge, make sure that you're talking with your veterinarian about what you can do to help slow that process. Sometimes when our pets are using some allergy medication seasonally and stuff, that can help with the eye discharge. Sometimes if they're having a lot of problems with that being excessive and a lot of staining happening, your vet can point you in the right direction about supplements that you can add to the food or water to help treat that from the inside. A lot of times with the staining issue, that's more effective to treat that from the inside than from the outside. As a groomer, I've never really found any product that removes the staining, so a lot of times I just cut that off as a groomer. But anyway, the dried up eye discharge is such a huge thing that I run into, such a common thing. And when I do run into it, you can just tell that these animals are really uncomfortable with that there. And you can imagine that if you try to put yourself in your animal's shoes, which is something that we talk about here all the time at Better Pet Parents, to put yourself in your animal's shoes, just imagine what it would feel like to have all that built up. So the Better Pet Parents out there are vigilant about this. If their pet does have a problem with eye discharge, they're taking a warm washcloth and they're wiping that regularly to keep their pet clean and comfortable. This might sound like common sense, guys, but it is all over the place. I see this in my clients' pets all the time. Seeing a little bit there is very common, especially if the pet has, chronic issues with that. But what's not acceptable is when you see so much of that dried up that when you look at that pet that the whoever owns that pet had to ignore that pet for months for that to get into that kind of condition. And when I say something to the clients that that's the case, about if they've got a pet that has major buildup right there to the point where it has to be shaved out and it's really stuck on there, I'll say, this was really excessive. We need to do better about wiping their face. A lot of clients will say, well, the pet doesn't let me. She won't let me do that. Or she gets mad at me when I try to do that. Or I can't get it off. A lot of times they'll say, well, it's okay to say that once, but it's not okay to keep saying that throughout your pet's life. If this is a problem for your pet, you need to learn how to take care of this. Have your veterinarian or your groomer teach you the proper way to clean your pet's face if you're having that issue. If you feel like your pet is not allowing you to clean their face, you need somebody to teach you how to do it properly so that this doesn't become a problem. Because I'm just telling you guys that when this gets out of hand and all that gets built up and dried up, a lot of times when we as groomers go to remove that, it's so stuck on there that it pulls up the skin coming off. And I know that that's gross to mention, but that's the reality of the situation. A lot of times when you get an extensive case like that and you go to remove that, not only does it pull up the skin to remove it, but it's infected underneath, and they really need to be treated medically because it's become such an issue. It's not it's not common for me to see situations that are that bad, but the more common thing would just be to see it built up there. But when it's so bad that removing it reveals infection underneath, that's the situations where I get really mad, and I just don't think that there's any excuse for that. So I want to advocate for today's message to make sure that you are being vigilant about cleaning your pet's face, and if you're having trouble cleaning your pet's face, that you are asking the professionals in your pet's life to teach you how to clean it properly. I always tell my clients that wiping with a warm washcloth on a regular basis really helps keep a lot of that at bay. But if you do have a pet that has more severe buildup than that, if you're bathing your pet at home, first of all, always make sure that you're washing your pet's face with a tearless shampoo. So get something that's made for pets that says tearless on the bottle so that you feel like using that product, you're at liberty to wash their face without being worried about it causing any damage to the eyes. And when you do lather that up, you'll put the tearless shampoo on their face and use what's called a flea comb to just gently remove that buildup out from in front of their eyes. And that's a very gentle, easy way to remove that while you're giving them their normal bath. So please make sure that you're having a discussion with your groomer or your veterinarian or the vet techs at your clinic about how to maintain this and how to make sure that your animal is never one of the pets out there suffering from such a preventable problem. I want to thank all of you out there who would consider a topic like this, because only the better pet parents do. Everything that we talk about here is all the things that only the better pet parents are out there thinking about. It's the whole point of this community. So thank you for being somebody who wanted to learn about this topic. Thank you for caring for your animals the way that you do. And we'll see you again next week for another discussion.